Hey guys, what's going on? Lucky Cheese 7 is back again to give you guys a video regarding the future of Vivi Nefertari. Well, let me rephrase that. Vivi Nefertari, because the entire revelation behind the Nefertari family and learning about the fact that, that they carry the will of D is something I was not expecting. I really wasn't expecting when reading that chapter. So I was just like, what? Like, we knew when Vivi was going to the Reverie that she was going to have, like, some level of importance in the story. But getting this revelation that she is a part of the Will of D, or much like the Nefertari family in general, I think adds a lot to her character and her importance in the story. And potentially also not potentially, a guarantee that she will in fact rejoin the Straw Hats permanently. Now I know this discussion has been very, very popular over the years, especially for the time skip era. Like, who is the next Straw Hat member is going to be? Like, starting off, we had Zoro, then we had Nami. Well, Nami's a little, not officially, but Nami, then Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brooke. Like, we didn't really get another member until Jinbei. And that was, like, at the very end of this arc. Like, it's, like, officially, he became a member in Whole Cake, technically, but we just didn't see him on the crew until, we reunited with him in Wano. Now, taking that into perspective, we have 9 members, right? If we're not counting Luffy, we have 9 members of the Straw Hat crew. Why do I believe, after going all through these canons, why do I believe we are guaranteed that Vivi's going to be the next Straw Hat crew? Keep this in mind. We had characters like Rebecca, like Karen, and now Yamato. We've gone through 3 characters throughout the time skip. None of them joined. Okay? Now Yamato, she did say, let me rephrase that. They did say that at this point in time, I can't join. Like, I know I said I was going to join, but I can't because, I gotta protect Momonosuke. I gotta do what I can for the country of Wano. I mean, essentially, Yamato is the guardian of Wano country. So when you consider that, it's like, well, yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. Yamato could still very much come back in the story. I am not gonna take that away as a possibility, but I think, given where the story's currently at, I think Oda has the perfect setup here for Vivi to return. Because when you consider everything that's happened in the story, the Straw Hats, Luffy, Nami, Sanji, Chopper, and Zoro to a degree, they all said that, you're welcome to hop aboard with us, when we take off. But Vivi did consider that as a possibility. She did take that approach and she said, look, I would love to continue my adventures with you guys, but I can't because I love my kingdom. I have to do what I can to help provide and support for the people. That was the whole reason why Vivi didn't join up with the Straw Hats initially. And it was a very understandable reason too. However, if you do recall what Vivi said right as they were about to leave, she did say that, look, if we were to ever meet up again, will you still call me your shipmate? And they all said yes. You know, raising their fist up in the air, and even Vivi raised her fist up in the air too, like all tears and everything. Like, it was emotional. That to me, I don't care how many times I go back and rewatch One Piece from the beginning. Anytime I get to that scene at the tail end of Alabasta, like, the feels kicking like super super deep. And I think as far as farewells go, like, that is still like one of the most heart-wrenching farewells I've had to go through with One Piece. And, like, for a character, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can understand that. But I want to emphasize something that I brought up in the Wano Country podcast. When you look at the time skip, it has a very George Lucas-y kind of vibe to it. And what I mean by George Lucas, he had a famous saying that it's like poetry. It rhymes. Now, how do I correlate it to One Piece? Well, look at the situation with Vivi in the story. She was with an organization, with Baroque Works, and then when Baroque Works found out who Vivi was, so that, the whole rebellion against Alabasta would not come to fruition. And Vivi's option at that point in time, was sailing with the Straw Hats until the whole situation with Alabasta got resolved. And again, Baroque Works was all under one man, and that one man was Crocodile. A true G, by the way. But what's the situation right now with Vivi? It's very similar, right? She was at the Reverie, and due to being at the Reverie, resulted in the death of Cobra, because he wanted to know about the Void Century, he wanted to know about the Nefertari lineage, and, him revealing the fact that the Nefertari family carries the will of D, that resulted in, his death, unfortunately. What this also did, though, is the Gorosei, who serve under which figure? Imu. Imu tasked the Gorosei with the desire that they want Vivi. It's a very similar situation. The Baroque Works were tasked by who? By Crocodile. At that point in time. Because why? Vivi. It's a very similar situation. The major difference here is that the scope is much larger than it ever was with Baroque Works. Like, if you thought Baroque Works was like, oh shit, like, we're kind of screwed. No. That situation raises tenfold with the Gorosei and with Imu involved. And if you consider that, Vivi, much like with the Baroque Works, she's on the run again. Not just from a simple organization, the world government. So everywhere Vivi goes, she's going to have a target on her head. It's not just, okay, she's in Alabasta, we gotta do something about this. No, it's the scope. Again, this whole thing goes back to that. The scope of Vivi is, like, much bigger. And I think given that, she's with who? With Wapple and Big News Morgan. At this point in time, that's where she's at. But I do believe this whole setup here does actually lead to Vivi returning to Luffy and the crew, but also becoming a permanent member of the Straw Hats. I do very much believe that. Especially given this. Okay? Now, look at this final scene again. Where the Straw Hats are raising their arm up, and you got the big X on, right? Because it's supposed to, like, represent their symbol, like their friendship, if you will. The thing about the X is that when you take the X into the Roman numeral concept, X represents the number 10. Now, again, excluding Luffy, okay? We have Zoro, Nami, Usopp, Sanji, Chopper, Robin, Frankie, Brook, and Jinbei. As 9 members, right? 9. And again, take the Roman numeral aspect. The letter X means 10. There's a 10th spot open. And who do you guys think that place belongs to? Vivi. I think it's super obvious at this point in the story. I definitely do think that this leads to Vivi rejoining the crew. Now, given that, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, what kind of role is Vivi going to have? She's not going to be, like, what kind of importance will she have on the crew? Like, everyone has some kind of big thing. She can't really do much. Do y'all remember during the Alabasta arc, like, when Vivi approached Crocodile? Like, she used her peacock slashers, and she was said, nah, get out of here. Granted, we know Crocodile was going to be, like, fine for the most part, given his ability to control sand and everything. However, we do have Usopp, and we know Usopp can make some upgrades, because he did that for Nami. So, it wouldn't be too much of a stretch to consider that he'll do the same thing for Vivi. Plus, also, if you remember, when she was, like, in the crow's nest, on the ship before they went to Reverie, like, she jumped off from the crow's nest and landed almost nearly perfectly onto the deck of the ship. So, that to me just that says Vivi has kind of kept up with, her skills over the time span. And if you're asking about what kind of role Vivi could play as far as, like, the crew goes, I mean, Vivi has a way to play the role of the diplomat because she is a princess of Alabasta. That is one role she could definitely use. Not only just to be, used in combat situations, but also just her position in the story, I think, is, like, super, super incredible. It really is. Like, it's, like, very, very showcasing of what we're gonna do. Because you got Zoro the Swordsman, Sanji the Cook, Usopp the Marksman, Nami the Navigator, Nico Robin the Archaeologist, Frankie the Shipwright, Chopper the Doctor, and then Jinbei, who is essentially the helmsman of the Straw Hats. So, Vivi having that kind of role of a diplomat, I think, is warranted, and I think can work very, very well. Now, again, where in the story could Vivi show back up? Well, like I said, she could either pop back up at the tail end of Egghead somehow, or it could be during Elbaf, because this whole thing also kind of ties back into the Giants on Little Garden. So Vivi does kind of have a bit of a connection to the Giants in that aspect, and it could very much lead to us seeing her again on Elbaf. There are two possibilities here, but ultimately, that's kind of where I stand on her potential return to the Straw Hat crew. And with that being said, you guys, that's pretty much all I gotta say when it comes to this discussion video on Vivi returning to the Straw Hat crew. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. How do you guys feel about Vivi coming back to the Straw Hat crew? And when do you guys think she will permanently return? What other kind of important roles do you think Vivi's going to have in the story? Let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments down below. And aside from that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm LuckyG7. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more One Piece content. And I will catch you guys next time. Peace.